Achievement Test 3. Listening exercises 1 and 2.
Hello and welcome to our weekly broadcast of Science and Discovery. Our topic today is antibiotics, or rather the future of antibiotics. And to discuss it with us today, we have Dr. Amanda Reynolds, medical researcher and specialist in infectious diseases. Good afternoon, Dr. Reynolds. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Dr. Reynolds, the headlines in the newspapers this week have been rather alarming. They seem to suggest that antibiotics will no longer work 10 years from now. But haven't scientists been saying this for a long time? Is this latest development really any different?
Well, it's all part of the same process, really. As we all know, superbugs such as MRSA have been infecting patients in our hospitals for quite a number of years now. And we are all aware that hospital hygiene has been massively improved by the NHS as a result. Now, most hospital staff and visitors clean their hands with antiseptic gel almost automatically when they enter and leave the patient wards.
Yes, you're right. So, can you tell us more about this latest development, Doctor?
Basically, it was the discovery of a new gene called NDM1. Professor Tim Walsh from Cardiff University discovered that NDM1 makes some bacteria highly resistant to almost all antibiotics. And worse still, it's becoming very widespread.
Do they have any idea where it's come from?
They say it's due to the increase in international travel and medical tourism.
Medical tourism?
Oh, yes, many people go abroad for medical treatment now because it's much cheaper. For example, some infected British patients in Britain travelled to India for treatments. For example, kidney transplants, cosmetic surgery and so on. And they came back with the NDM1 bacteria.
So, are new antibiotics being developed to fight it?
Well, antibiotic research is very difficult. And it's also not very profitable for pharmaceutical companies. People usually take antibiotics for only very short periods of time, while medication for heart conditions, for instance, are usually fairly long-term. Apart from that, resistance to the drugs makes antibiotics useless after a while, so researchers have to start all over again. Interestingly, Fleming himself warned us about this about 80 years ago.
Really? You mean Alexander Fleming, the scientist who first discovered penicillin in 1928?
Yes. He said that resistance would happen and suggested the use of antibiotics should be very carefully restricted.
Oh, I'm amazed. Well, that certainly hasn't happened, though, has it? People want antibiotics to cure everything, including colds, coughs and sore throats.
Exactly. We do try to explain to patients that antibiotics are useless against viral complaints like colds, but people often beg for them so as to get on with their normal lives more quickly. It's often hard for doctors to resist.
Yes, I can imagine. I think I've been guilty of that myself. But seriously, what is the outlook for antibiotics, you think?
I wish I could be more optimistic. Better hygiene is the key thing here, not only in hospitals, but at home. Things like keeping your kitchens and cooking areas clean, washing your hands before meals and so on.
Right, and campaigns in schools and on the TV to support it?
Absolutely. And the second thing is to use antibiotics more sparingly and more carefully. Many people stop taking them once they start feeling better and don't complete the full course. This is dangerous because it can create even more drug-resistant bacteria. And last but not least, there's the issue of global health. This is not just a British problem, it's worldwide. It's vital that world governments get together with global pharmaceutical companies. They urgently need to fund more research to discover new ways of fighting these superbugs.
Dr. Reynolds, thank you very much for coming here today.
It's been my pleasure.